Hi, I'm Madam Eileen. I'm going to do a llama today. This is a loot llama I made several days ago, and I'm going to show you how I put them together. I'm going to have the list of the balloons I need to make it down below in the notes. So read the notes or comments. It'll be down there. First, I'm going to inflate my 260. I don't pay attention to how much tail I have anymore. I've learned to work around if I have too much or too little. So first I'm going to start by putting 2 pinch twists in. If you have a problem with pinch twists, watch my essential beginner twister videos. It talks about pinch twists in depth. And now I'm going to make the nose of my llama. So I'm going to do 2 more pinch twists after I did that first pinch twist. It's going to look like that. I'm going to give it a squeeze to soften it. I'm going to wrap the balloon around like this. You see how that is? That's the top lip of my llama. Once I have it wrapped, I'm going to pinch it in and I'm going to roll this balloon around. And that's my upper lip of my llama. Now I'm going to make the cheeks and the back of the llama's head. If you make the cheeks too big, you're going to run out of room here. That's how much I used. Now this next part, I'm going to wait till I have the eyeballs and the ears. So I'm going to inflate a 5-inch round balloon. Choose how big I want the eyes to be, and split the balloon. This is also in the beginner instruction books. Oh, sorry, beginner instruction videos that I have. This is, many artists do this for eyeballs. I don't know who came up with this technique first. So there's the eyes. Now get another 260 lavender, and this will be the ears. Sometimes it's easier to do this before you finish the head. I judge how high up I want those ears to go from the head. All right, I like that. That's where I'm going to do a pinch. I take this balloon and I use this as a measuring guide. And that right here is where I want to put the next pinch twist. You want these pinch twists on the big side, just so they can push the ears up where they're supposed to be. You can always bend the ears in like this to get them to stand up more. Even out those ears. Rip that part off. At this point, I need my scissors. Cut that excess off. Now for here, the nose. I may have to push this bubble back up to the nostrils. Okay. Put in the eyes. Put in the ears. Hold this balloon over. And tie this in. I'm rewrapping the lip around the nose. So this is what I have so far. Now I'm going to do the bottom lip. I like to use an electric inflator for my small balloons. I attach it to these 2 pinch twists here. I'm holding the head upside down. I'm rolling this balloon up so it's right against the bottom lip. Now this llama is Fortnite Loot Llama, and he has a bottom jaw that juts out really big. So that's what I'm doing. Pinching off the bubble where I want it and rolling it around this middle area. Now I'm going to make the cheeks larger by wrapping the 160 balloon from the middle of the jaw around the back pinch twist. And now I'm going to go back the other side, tracing along the jaw there. For this area, it creates this space here. That's where we're going to tuck the neck into. See, so sometimes you never know when you need it again. Sometimes on this back area here behind the head, I'd like to try to get 3 pinch twists if possible. Right now, I just have 1 pinch twist, and then this remaining bubble. I'm going to pinch and isolate 1 bubble here in the middle, and I'm going to lift up and do my best to pinch twist it, and that way that gives me not 3 pinch twists, but 2 pinch twists and a bubble. If you don't have enough balloons, that's one way to get around it. But if you have plenty of balloon left, go ahead and do 3 pinch twists back here. Now we're going to add the tongue and the teeth. Oh, silly me. I knew I needed this. I knew I needed this face. Okay, this is the bottom of his jaw. And then I like to use wild berry. I don't want to go too light colored on this. I don't want to draw people's attention to his mouth. So that's why I'm using a darker pink color. All right. My purple reverse inflated, which means when I went to inflate it, it inflated from the tip rather than tip. Sorry. Lay this down here and lay it down and see where this loop opens up. Right there. And that will give me the size of bottom jaw I need. So when I have this attached to the jaw, I can just tuck it right in to the space where I need it. Now I need teeth. I'm going to put teeth on this. So we need just a little bit of white. This is a full 160 white, but I just need a little bit. So I'm going to use this scrap of white instead. Inflate it in my electric inflator. We only need 2 little teeth. That's where I want it. Now I'm going to split this bubble as evenly as I can. Thank goodness for the speed control, right? You can slow this down if you need to. Or if I talk too much, you can fast forward it. I love that feature. Now this, the teeth, I tie. Doesn't matter how you tie it, just as long as it's there and it won't fall off. Or, if all goes wrong, use glue dots. Lots of glue dots. All right, so here we have 2 teeth, a tongue, and the jaw. That's what you should have. I take either one or both of these tails and I shove them into the mouth and I wrap it around the 2 pinch twists there in the middle. And then I tuck them into the middle of the jaw. That's where I'm at. Now I'm going to take this, tuck it in. There is our llama. If you like, you can try to bend, give it a little bit of shape. And now you need a 350 lavender. Inflate it about halfway. Take the jaw, take the cheek, pull the cheeks apart, hold the knot, and push it under those 3 pinch twists and wrap it around once or twice, and then tuck it down and under so it's out of sight. If it's flopsy, you can twist it around the pinch twist. Let it roll and twist. And this is one way you can tighten up that joint to make sure everything is where you want it. Tucking that in, making sure that's in. Now I'm going down. See where the jaw is? That's about where you want his neck ruff to begin. Now you want to do 5 pinch twists. Not super large. We're not talking about loops. We're talking about pinch twists. About 3 inch in size. You don't want to do it larger than 3 inches. Anything larger than 3 inches, you will need a second 350. If you do 1 or 2 that are bigger than 3 inches, put those on the front of the chest. 1, 2, 3. I have 3. Here comes 4. But if you can manage to keep your pinch twists smaller than this, you're good. They should have all been this size. So I'm going to manipulate it so the smaller pinch twists are towards the back and the larger pinch twists are towards the front. So you should have one main front and then the rest small. You could, if you wanted to really play around with the design, you could do large, medium, and small. This points out the back of our llama. Now what we need is 2 pinch twists, and that should finish filling up all the air in here, leaving a little ball on the end for the tail, like this. So I measure about a hand across. You can see we're running out. So it's okay if these pinch twists are on the small side. There we go. So that's how you connect the neck, and you start the first level on your Loot Llama Piñata. I'm going to go ahead and put the reins on the llama right now, rather than waiting to the end. The larger you build your piece, the more you have to flip around and avoid as you're putting on some of the details. So that's why this is a good time to do the details like the reins. I'm going to start by putting a pinch twist. If you have a difficult time putting a pinch twist here, I recommend taking the tail. After you go around a few times, pull the tail around your thumb, make a loop, and then take the tail, the nozzle, and push it through that loop. And it basically creates a knot, and you tie that pinch twist into place. Now we come back here to the jaw. We put this pinch twist under the jaw, and we pull the reins all the way around back to its underneath. Wrap that around. And now we're going to go around underneath the jaw, back to the pinch twist. Sometimes it's helpful to isolate the bubble, and then you'll have an easier time getting this twist, this joint, connected to the pinch twist than if you just shove this inflated part into that area and try twisting it around. We're going to break this off. I'm going to wrap it around just a few times by hand. I'm just circling around like that. And then I just let it go. Now I don't like this hanging out so it can be seen. So what I do is I lift the chin and I take that pinch twist and I tuck it out of sight here under his chin. Coming along. Yeah, really good, really fun. All right, now we're going to take the next color, which is light blue. The feet are going to be robin's egg blue. The blue gets darker in color as it goes down. I'm going to inflate it only halfway. This is going to take a lot of twists. First thing I'm going to do is there is a little spacer bubble. And now you're going to do 5 pinch twists. Try to do these about the same size as the pinch twist, that first 5 pinch twists that you did with the purple. This spacer bubble is what's going to connect to our llama body. 2 pinch twists. Try to keep control and only do 3. Or if you're alternating large, medium, small, keep track of how many large, medium, smalls you get. The only thing I need to watch out for is in making these pinch twists, my nozzle on my spacer bubble is being eaten. I want to try to keep that free. If pulling and twisting is difficult, you can pull it over the other bubbles and roll it around the other pinch twist, and the bubble will naturally pinch twist itself. One of my pinch twists looks like it's deflating. Sometimes the stress of manipulating your balloon causes a little friction loop to happen at the joints. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this point, I don't know if I should grab another balloon or persevere. But if it is deflating, then I could help it on its way, or I could do just 1 more pinch twist. So I have a total of 6 pinch twists, and just trust that that 1 pinch twist is going to deflate on its own. Oh, who knows? Maybe I've created something new. Okay. Now I'm arranging the largest bubble in the front. My spacer bubble just popped. You don't need that spacer bubble, really? No, I'm going to get a new one. Throw that one away. I got my secret stash of balloons right here behind me. Da-da-da, another one. All right. Spacer. You don't want a big spacer bubble. You just want a little, something tiny. 1/2 inch. Which is hard to do on a 350. Those are 2 small bubbles. Make it a little larger. You're making a lot of these. You just get the feeling of what to do. All right, now this is number 5. This one's going to be just a little bit bigger. Yay. Okay. Big one in the front, medium to the side, small in the back. And the small one, you want to arrange the blue. So, should look like this. Spacer bubble in the middle, large one in the front, medium, and small, or they can all be the same size. If you're good at making the same size, do it. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the center of this flower. Basically, that's what this is. This is like a flower petal. Go across, see where I put those 2 pinch twists, and that is where I need to do 3 more pinch twists. Three pinch twists and a small, tiny spacer bubble. This loot llama goes together kind of like Legos. They stack. You know how Lego comes up with those fancy heads? All right. I'm going to just do a little snip. And I lift my thumb up and down, creating kind of an air valve. Because I don't want it completely empty. Ah, there we go. I want just a little tiny spacer bubble. If I just tied these 2 sections together, I might end up with a little string that can be visible. But by having on this one I'm going to try to get the 2 even-sized bubbles on the outside and the smaller bubble on the center here. Okay, and this one, 2 large on the side, small one in the middle. Oops. So there we go. 2 spacer bubbles. When you connect them, all you should see is a spacer bubble and no string. So I'm going to start on the back here. I'm going to grab the knot, hold the knot with my thumb up to that middle space and go around. Now I'm going to come to this side, grab the knot, push it to the spacer bubble with my thumb, hold it in place, and wrap it around the purple pinch twist and then tuck it in. All right, next part. You want a 160 blush. 160 blush. This is white. I got white. I'm going to have to do something like this later. Blush. I want blush. 160 blush. That's blush. That's the one we want. Have you done anything adventurous today besides watching my channel today? I had fun. Do you see? I put purple in my hair. I have a hot date with Mr. Smith tonight. We're going to go see a movie. So I decided to purple up my hair for fun today. Back to the subject on hand, or the llama on hand. All you need to do with this blush balloon is tie it tightly around the waist. Not loose, tight. Okay? Tie it tight. I take the nozzle and knot end of the balloon and I wrap it in a figure 8. One direction and then the other direction, just so it holds and doesn't unravel right away after I break that piece off. Now that I broke that off and have a smaller piece, now I actually do the over-under hand tie. 2 knots. Turn that off. Now you want to inflate your 160 brown. You want to go just wide enough so it crosses. So maybe 1.5 inches, or just bigger than a thumb. Pinch. Do a pinch twist. Now we're going to measure. We're going to hold this near the bottom. So don't match it underneath. visually, we want it like this. And we're going to go around and down to the other side to right across. We're going to pinch it there, and we're going to do a pinch twist. This is the saddle, so it's going to go together very saddle-like. It's going to hang over it like a letter U. Now, this is a 2 fingers or your 1.5 inches. A pinch. And does it go back the other way? No, it's short. I don't have enough air. I'll show you again the trick. If you don't have enough air, this works even if you have a hand pump. It's a trick here, but it's perfect if you have an electric inflator. So I cut the tip off. I insert it onto my inflator, put some more air in it, and now you see I have more than enough air to do what I need to do. Put a little, make sure you have a little bit of tail for the air to escape too. Measure up. This is where I put 1 pinch twist. And now I connect these together. Just comparing, making sure I have the same size. Now I'm going to lay the saddle across that blush balloon so it's even on either side. Then I measure across and twist around. Yep, wrong end. If it's the end closest to the front of the llama, then you want to use the pinch twist that's also opposite of the llama. Like that. Oops, there we go. So, the saddle going down, we went across, and we went up. There's more than one right way to do this. This is just one way. Once you see how something's put together, find how it works best for you. Now, if I make a little bit of this bigger than the others, then you might need an extra balloon. If you do it just right, like my first one, I only needed 1/160 balloon, but I need just a little bit more to finish this up. So I have a scrap of a 160 brown, which I'm going to inflate here. I'm going to go underneath my llama. I'm going to wrap around 1 pinch twist. And to the other side. Now, if you want to make sure your saddle's on secured, you can just tie it off here. Or, just for fun, one thing that I did is I went across and around. And then I went across and around that side. And then I went diagonal across and around. So I make this X. This can also make an attachment point for other stuff. So now that I have the saddle together, I'm going to push the little tail up. Okay, this is where I want my robin's egg blue, my darker blue legs. See, I'm starting to run out of balloon colors, like so many other balloon artists out there. Let's see. Now I'm searching for my bag. I mean, there's light blue, there's Caribbean blue, there's teal. If there is any color of balloon that outnumbers any other color of balloon, I'd say for Qualitex, it's the color blue or green. Even their greens look blue, like their teal, the Caribbean blue, the robin eggs blue, the light blue, the pale blue, the true blue, the dark blue. There's a lot of blue in Qualitex. Yeah, I do not see the blue I'm looking for. So why don't I go with teal this time? Robin's egg blue is preferable because you really want a blue that's darker than this. But yet I think, now sometimes you have to experiment. Maybe you like it to go from light blue to dark blue. Thinking. I'm going to inflate both of these up, and then I'm going to hold it to my Llama and see which I like best. Here's the Caribbean blue. On the camera light, it looks very similar in color. This true blue, that looks a bit better because we're going to add a purple fringe to this. So these are going to be the legs. So I'm going to pinch the knot, use my thumb to push the balloon up into this piece. Pull the knot and the nozzle around the pinch twist and let go. I angle it to where I believe the middle of the llama is going to be. Pinch it. And then measure. Do I want the back legs to be bigger, pushing it forward, or do I want them more even? Or do I want the legs just a pinch longer than that? That's where I'm going to. You can always make longer legs later. This is just my take on how to make a loot llama. There's a young man that had a birthday, and his favorite character is the loot llama. And I put the loot llama on a candy cup and I delivered it on his birthday. I always wash my hands before I build balloons, and I never mouth inflate, so there's no germs inside these balloons. Okay. Now from here, I like to get violet purple. You don't want to get quartz. If you get quartz purple, it will be see-through. Well, although see-through does look pretty, I don't want see-through for my llama. Okay. Violet purple. I'm going to attach violet purple to this part of the saddle. And then I'm going to make 7 bubbles around and attach it to the front pinch twist on this side of the saddle. It might be a little tight getting in here if you've made your saddle too pinchy close together down here, not enough space, then it might be really hard because it's deep in there. But if you measure it just right, it should end perfectly on the outsides of the llama. I almost said camel. Now the bubbles, just use common sense. These bubbles are about 1 inch apart. You can do big, you can do small, you can do a variety. This is your llama that you're making. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe 6 goes around nicely. Maybe 8. But go with 7 and then measure around and see. Depending on how big you make your bubbles and your pinch twist, it all adjusts on your measurements going around. So 7 for me works out really good. 6 would be nice and tight. That might be too tight. I want just a little bit of playful give. Now I get the pinch twist. I isolated this joint, this bubble with this joint. Now I'm going to pinch and roll one joint around the pinch twist joint. I'm just going around one time to secure it. Now you can do 4 teeny tiny or 2 regular size bubbles to go across. I'm going to do I'm going to try to just keep doing bubbles of the same size. Yeah, that's too big. Make it just a little tinier. Much better. So as you go across the bottom of the saddle like that, 2 pinch twists. And now you're going to do a few bubbles to go around. I think it only took me 6 pinch twists to go around the last one. But again, it all depends on how big or small you make your bubbles. If you make them a little smaller than me, you may need 8 or 9. Bigger, you look. Just go with the flow. See where the balloon takes you. Every balloon is different. Every balloon is fun. So I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I also ended up with 7. Now don't get excited about breaking off the balloon quite yet. After you go around the back saddle pinch twist, we still need to do the 2 bubbles that connect from this point to this point. I did that once. I go, yay, I made it around, and I broke it off and went, oh shoot, I'm not done yet. Now since I only need 2 bubbles. I have the 2 bubbles down here. I'm holding this. I'm out of tail here. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze some of the air out. I'm going to give a little snip. And if you let it go too fast, it explodes just like that. But the idea is if you let the air out slowly, you can deflate that tail with that tail exploding. But that's the operative word, slowly. Those bubbles won't hurt anything in the design, except this bubble came free. If one end of the bubble comes loose, they all unravel. Now this type of technique is called a string of pearls. I explained the string of pearls in more depth in one of my earlier beginner twister videos. So if you want to know where you can go to review that. Now pinch twists have a rectangle shape. They're narrow on one end and long on the other end. So you can arrange them so they're horizontal or vertical. Right now this is vertical matching this. But what if I want it matching the bottom? You can turn it sideways like that. It's just a little bit of a balancing act, playing around with the pressures of the bubbles underneath. But once you decide what direction you want the saddle pinch twist to go, you want to try to make them and adjust them so they're all pointing in the same direction. This is drifting a bit low, so I'm trying to tuck this up. I'm tucking the purple up with this, pushing up with this finger, while adjusting this finger to keep that up where I want it. This one's kind of trying to hide out underneath it. Sometimes the pinch twists are going to fight you, and they're not going to want to go where you want them to go. Now, same on this side. Of course, it didn't help that I did not have the 2 bubbles on this side. But you see with the 2 bubbles on this side, it helps a lot in making it easier to control where you're putting those pinch twists. Up here, just push these together. This is why you want to make these nice and tight. The tighter these are, the better they'll hug each other on their own. Now at this point, you can get a black or a chocolate brown. I'm going to get a chocolate, just because I'm a girl and I like chocolates. I just realized I gotta get going. I got a date. So I'm making 4 loops. I'm putting a tiny bubble, and I'm making that tiny bubble into a pinch twist. This is just to help my loops to spread out, because I'm going to attach this to the bottom. You can arrange these loops to be horizontal or vertical, but they really won't stay in place too well until you have it attached to the feet. So my thumb is underneath the flower. I'm going to push it up into the joint where the feet meet. Then I'm going to take the long end of the balloon that I cut and get the air out, wrap it around once. You can do it twice, but you only need once. And then I wrap it around the hoof. And then I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to cut it. And now I'm going to arrange the loop twist flat. And now our loop llama, to be complete, just needs the eye. The eye is really easy. Circles. Most eyes are circles, and it's a comic llama. So first you want to draw a circle. And now you draw a smaller circle on the top, just touching the big circle. And now you fill in whatever the big circle is left. And there you go, loot llama. And now I'm going to do the same on this other side. So loot llama, loot llama. My head tends to like to pull to one side. You can grab the neck here and straighten it. You can bend and push it, and that can encourage it to straighten up a little bit. That is Loot Llama by Madame Eileen. I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy twisting. It's going to be so much fun. Have a good night.